Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome back to another foundation test video. Today's foundation test video is featuring this Huda Beauty Full Filter foundation. Guys, I am so excited to do this foundation test. I went to Selfridges here in London yesterday to go and pick it up, and it launched yesterday worldwide. Y'all might think I'm excited because it's Huda Beauty. Nope, I am excited because this foundation has massive claims to it. High coverage, suitable for all skin types. It will last all day on all skin types, including oily skin, which I am of oily combination skin. So if you're interested in seeing whether or not this foundation matches the description that Huda Beauty attached to this foundation, be sure to keep on watching this video, okay? All right, so this foundation claims to dry to a radiant powdery finish, and she said in one of her videos and also in some descriptions that for dry skin you don't need to set it with a powder, but for oily skin you need to set it with a powder. And if you set it with a powder, it will stay matte, or it will last all day on you. And she says it's best used with the new complexion pre-makeup base primer. Something I noticed in this foundation when I picked it up yesterday was that they actually left a sample of the actual complexion perfection pre-makeup base in here. So I am going to use this on one side of my face, and I've just put my regular primer on this side of my face. Okay, this is what it looks like. I picked up the shade Cinnamon. I swatched a few shades, and when I swatched it, I noticed it dries darker. Like I swatched the shade Cocoa and it dried darker, and I swatched the shade as well, it dries a little bit darker as well. So I thought, yeah, this is a perfect one because it runs golden as well, so I hope it's gonna dry to my skin tone. Do you know what I mean? When I saw it, I actually thought it was going to be glass, but when I picked it up, it's a plastic packaging. Look, I'm okay with it as long as it comes with a pump, and it does come with a pump. This is what the complexion perfection pre-makeup base looks like. It kind of has a beige tint to it. It's not white, it has a beige tint to it. It smells like food, like ice cream. One of the great things about being in London is being able to hear people speaking a Nigerian accent outside your window. Wow, this feels very, very moisturizing, and it looks really radiant. Look at this compared to this side. It is quite tacky. Wow, that's a bit ashy, a little bit green. This foundation dries really quickly, so you need to work really fast. All right, let's just ignore the color for now, okay? So this is what the finished application looks like. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it is changing color already. So we're sitting at a medium coverage right now because I can still see my spots here and my hyperpigmentation here a little bit, and my spots under here, but we are going to leave it here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set it with a translucent powder, as she said. I'm actually going to set my entire face with the translucent powder. It feels tacky, you know. It's not like slap your face matte. It's like, you know, slap your face and your fingerprint will show on your face, kind of tacky. You definitely need to set this foundation with a powder, in my opinion, even for dry skin, because it's quite tacky. Do you know what I mean? So the time right now is 8:11. That's the time we just finished applying the foundation. Let's just say 8:10 right now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and dust this translucent powder all over my face. Oh, that is so much better. It is now set to a powdery finish because I just set it with a powder, and the color is better now, if I do say so myself. Alright guys, this is what my face looks like after I've finished. I basically went ahead and added a little pea-sized amount of the foundation itself. So I basically used the foundation itself as a concealer under my eye, right here as well, and below my nose. Just kind of look more. Honestly guys, this foundation looks and it applies like the Estee Lauder Double Stay in Place makeup foundation, and they cost about the same. Actually, they cost the same amount of money as well. Wow, they feel the same way. The only difference is this one feels more lightweight than the Estee Lauder Double Stay in Place makeup foundation does. Do you know what I mean? So remember guys, I finished applying this foundation at 8:10, so I'm gonna try and wear this foundation for as long as I can, possibly maybe 12 hours. We're gonna see how it go. Even though I can still see some of my blemishes, it's not as bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's already kind of cracking on my smile line here. Hopefully it doesn't crack more than this. So I'm gonna go off now, and I'll come back to you guys at the end of the day. We are gonna see how long this foundation is gonna last for, because she says it will last all day, even on oily skin. And remember, I am of oily combination skin. Okay, so without further ado, I will see you real soon. I tried a tongue pop and it didn't work. Alright guys, so the time right now is 8:44 p.m. so which means I've had this foundation on for 12 hours and 34 minutes. Yeah, 12 hours and 34 minutes. So this is what my face looks like right now. I've got all of my face. We can see this acne scar here. We can see a little bit of my acne scars on my forehead. But my nose, this is what I'm quite pleased with. The last couple of foundations I've tested, I've seen separation on top of my nose, but today there's no separation whatsoever, which I'm really happy with. My textures, I can see it now, do you know what I mean? But it's not as bad as the foundation I tested recently, to be honest. Everywhere else where I'm actually a little bit greasy, I can still see the product I applied on it there, do you know what I'm saying? Except for this part here where it looks like the foundation has separated more, and my smile line right here is cracked here. Alright, so before we go ahead and blot to see whether or not this foundation will separate after blotting, let's just talk about the claims. First, let's talk about longevity, because that's the elephant in the room. Huda Beauty herself claims for this foundation to give you an all-day matte look. If us oily skin peeps, you set this foundation using translucent powder, which I did this morning. I disagree with that because as you can see, my skin is not matte, I am oily. Yes, I know it's 12 hours later, but she said all day. Now I don't know what her definition of all day is, because for some people all day is about 8 hours, because you know, like if you do a 9 to 5 job, do you know what I'm saying? But for me, all day for me today has been 12 hours, because I've had my siblings, like we've all been looking after my siblings for the entire day, and they literally just went to bed. So all day for me, which is 12 hours for today, my foundation did not stay matte all day, and even about 8 hours into it, I still had this oil. I want to tackle the Huda Beauty Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base Primer. Like she kind of said, like this foundation, you get a longer wear out of this foundation if you use that primer with it. I disagree with that as well, because as you can see, like this is the side that I set with the primer, and this side I just use my regular Covergirl trublend primer for combination skin, and as you can see, both sides are the same, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't really make any difference. And she also claims for this foundation to be a full coverage foundation. No, I disagree. This foundation is not a full coverage foundation right off the bat, except maybe if you put like maybe 2 pumps on one spot and blend it out, do you know what I mean? It might give you a full coverage. But if you use 1 pump as she recommended for full coverage finish, it is not going to give you a full coverage finish. That is my take on it. I believe this foundation is a medium coverage at best, and that's what I actually saw on Sephora's website. I don't know what's going on. Like Sephora says medium, Cult Beauty says full coverage, Huda Beauty herself says full coverage. So which one is it? And in terms of oxidization, I'm happy to say that this foundation did not oxidize, meaning it did not change color throughout the day. All right, so let's go ahead and blot and then touch up with a translucent powder. All right, so this is my face after I've blotted, and I like it. And before I go ahead and touch up with translucent powder, I just kind of thought to quickly mention that, remember I used it for under my eye today as a concealer. It did a good job as a concealer under my eye. I mean, I can see my fine lines under my eye, so this fine lines is not creasing. So I reckon if I didn't have these fine lines, it will look better. There's no creasing of the foundation itself whatsoever, so that's fantastic. You actually don't really need to go ahead and touch up with a translucent powder, because blotting alone just looks good. Like the foundation itself did not separate, do you know what I mean? All right, so this is it after I touched up using the translucent powder. It looks better than it did just about a few seconds ago. In my opinion, if you already have the Estee Lauder Double Stay in Place makeup foundation, and you have oily skin or oily combination skin, and you already consider that foundation as your holy grail, you don't really need to get this foundation, because honestly they're actually the same price, maybe about 50 pounds or 50 cents difference if you're in Australia or whatever. Are they? If I am wrong, please correct me. But if you just want to buy just for your own, you know, just because you want to, please, if you have oily skin, you need to set it with a powder. If you have dry skin, if you're that kind of person who don't really like the tacky feeling of the foundation, I wouldn't really recommend this foundation for you, because it settled into my smile lines. I feel like it has a tendency to settle into your dry patches. But make up your own mind, but that is what I think. Normal skin, this foundation is for you, okay? It is definitely for you. Daylight result is here, flash test result is right here, and it looks good in daylight. And the flash test result, it did not give me any flashback, which is amazing. And I don't believe this foundation includes SPF. I don't think it does. And the way it looks in daylight pictures is just amazing, just like my Estee Lauder Double Stain Plus makeup foundation, literally. So that's all I have for you guys today. What do you guys think of this foundation? Are you planning on getting this foundation? Has it already launched where you are? And do you have the Estee Lauder Double Stain Plus makeup foundation? Yeah, just answer all these questions, okay, down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to subscribe and be sure to turn on your notification. You can find it right next to the subscribe button, okay? And please thumbs up this video because you like it and because I'm such a nice person, all right? Oh Lord, I am so full of myself. And please, as I said just now, thumbs up this video so that way YouTube can know that I am here, because YouTube keeps changing the algorithm. I'm sure you've heard this from 1,000 YouTubers, do you know what I'm saying? But literally they don't favor small YouTubers like myself. So if we don't get like reviews and rates and all that stuff, like YouTube won't really know we're here. So the more you thumbs it up, the more you help me and every other smaller YouTubers like myself out, okay? So thank you so much for watching. As always, well, every day I want to love yourself, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.